Today I'm going to give a quick Outlook tutorial. My name is Christian, and I'll be showing you how to get the most out of your Microsoft Outlook email and calendar. Today we'll start with creating appointments, meetings, learn how to invite people to those meetings, selecting locations, adding calendars, and helping you get the most out of your Outlook. Let's kick things off by creating a new meeting. As you can see, we're looking at the Home tab of Outlook. If yours doesn't look exactly like this, don't panic. You'll find each version of Outlook looks and acts like every other, except for a few minor feature and layout differences. We can create our new meetings by doing one of three things. First off, we can click New Items from the ribbon and selecting New Meeting. As you can see, it brings up the New Meeting wizard. We can also do it by pressing Control, Shift, and Q on the keyboard. Finally, the last way to do it is to click the calendar button and up here on the home tab, home ribbon, click new meetings. And as you can see, it brings up the wizard again. As you can see, we're looking at the Outlook web app, recognizable for most of you that check your email on the phone. To create a new meeting from here, we click calendar and click new event. Notice how they don't discern appointment or meeting. It's just an event. So here is our to line that you'll all recognize. The location, the subject, the room line, start day, start time, duration, reminder if you need, show yourself as busy out of the office, and recurrence. Now that we have the meeting wizard open, we can invite people to that meeting. On the to line, we can either type out the email address of those we want to invite, or we can just click to, which brings up our contact list, and go from there. You'll notice that you're presented with three fields: required, optional, and resources. Required means the person has to be there. Optional, as you might have guessed, means they have the option of missing it. And resources is just equipment or maybe room space that you'll need to facilitate that meeting. Now that we have who we want to invite to our meeting, now we need to add a subject, which of course is pretty self-explanatory. After subject field has been filled in, we want to go with location, meaning where's our meeting going to take place? Is it at Caribou Coffee? Are we meeting in the conference room? Where's it happening? So, if your Outlook administrator hasn't set it up any conference room, for you, this would be blank. But in my case, I have a large list of places to have our meeting. Just like contacts, we just click and either click rooms to add, or we can just double click to have the same effect. Now we've filled in the who, what, and where. We can decide on when. Outlook comes with the great feature in the scheduling assistant. Clicking it opens up the calendar of all parties you've invited to your meeting. And it also includes which room you're using if you're using a conference room. Now, you'll notice that the time I currently have blocked out for the meeting, Rachel is busy during that time. So now we're going to have to find another time. So I think a better day for me will be the 18th. Oh, and look at that. From 3 to 4, both her and Doug are free. So now that we know that, we can just click send and know that they should both have plenty of opportunities to make the meeting. A couple of features I haven't quite talked about yet is first off, response option. Gives the invitees the option to say yes, they'll be there, no, they won't, or they're planning to, but not sure if they'll be able to. And also new time proposals. As it suggests, the invitees can just say, no, this doesn't work for me. Can we try it at a different time? Next up is recurrence. Recurrence lets you schedule your meetings to happen every so often, as the name would suggest. Just decide how often it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and then you can set whether it's going to end after the first time, after so many times, as you can see here, it's set to 10, or end by a certain date. Once you're happy with your invite and have sent it out, the next thing you're able to do is check who has sent a response, who's going to be showing up and who isn't. So we come up here and we click the tracking button. This will pop up once you've selected your meeting. As you can see, when I click off my meeting, we go back to the home ribbon. But once we click on the meeting, you now are presented with the tracking option. The tracking option is just that. It will inform you who's responded and who hasn't. Let's talk about creating new appointments. Creating a new appointment is simple and easy. It's just like creating a new meeting, except meetings have invitees and appointments don't, as they're usually only for yourself. So, from the New Items button, we can click, scroll down to Appointment, click again, and up brings our new appointment wizard. Conversely, we can press Control Shift and A, which will bring up the same window. We can click on the Calendar button, pick the day we want to use, double click, open comes the appointment wizard. Lastly, you can just click New Appointment from the Home tab. The final thing I want to cover in my tutorial today is categorization and conditional formatting. Conditional formatting lets you prioritize certain messages over others based on conditions you set, which is really, really helpful. Jim, I'm talking to you here. This might actually help you to answer emails, even though we all know you don't. Now that we know what conditional formatting can do for us, let's get started learning how to do it. So first thing we want to do is click View, add View Settings, and scroll down here to where it says Conditional Formatting and click. Outlook provides us with several rules that are already written in, plus I added in a few myself. So we're going to click Add to make our new rule. I'm going to title this one Urgent. Click a font. I'm happy with the font. I'm going to make it bold. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And I'm going to make it blue so it stands out. Now here comes the rules when it's going to happen. So we click Condition. And as you can see, you can either search for words, where those words show up, from, or who sent it. Under More Choices, we're going to click for this demonstration whose importance is, and put a check mark there. Then we click the drop down and we want to pick high, so those emails with high importance stand out. So if we're busy or whatever, we can just open our email real quick, scroll through and look if anything pressing deserves our attention, and then, deal with that issue. So now that we have high selected and hit OK, we'll hit OK once more and one final time. And now, as you can see, all of these with the exclamation marks are marked blue, meaning our rule has been applied and now it all stands out. Now, you notice this one here didn't. And the reason behind that is I've got another rule that supersedes this rule. On now to categorization. As you can see, my Outlook calendar has all these different appointments and meetings and a whole color scheme going on. And that's because I've used the categorization button. So for my Courage Center therapy appointment on Wednesday, it's in this nice green, which you can also see here from the mail. And whenever I see green, I know automatically that's a Courage Center appointment. And that goes for all the appointments I set like that. So from the calendar, either click an appointment you want to set to a category, click categorization, and as you can see here, I've got a bunch of different categories listed. But yours won't be like this from the get-go. You'll see just colors and generic names. So if you want to add your own, we'll click all categories and then just click the rename button, rename it to whatever you want, and hit OK. Now, if we want to create a new one, we just hit New, give it a new name, pick out a color or a shortcut key, and click OK. And your category will show up just like mine. Then, once you have everything categorized, it takes just a second to go, oh, I see I've got coaching coming up at 11. No problem. Blind carbon copy, better known as BCC. It allows the sender of a message to conceal the persons entered in the BCC field from the other recipients. It also helps prevent the spread of viruses by avoiding accumulation of blocklist email addresses available to all, and it prevents accidental reply all from sending a reply intended only for the originator of the message to the entire recipient list and where discretion may dictate. We're looking at a new email window, and as you can see, BCC is nowhere to be found. Well, to remedy that, we click Options and click BCC, which pops in under Carbon Copy and right above Subject.